Hey guys, my name is Chris Hasvold and I am the association president for this year. And I was planning on going into the office to have Blake do a couple professional videos this week to update you on what's happening. And obviously with the current situation that's going on, that just isn't going to happen. So what you got is me and my iPad, and we're going to make the best of it. So hopefully that's okay. I wanted to share this message with you. I wanted to let you know what's going on at the state level and at the local level. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a meeting next Friday, April 3rd at 10 o'clock. It'll be a Zoom online meeting, and we're going to have several guests come in and talk about what's going on and try and answer as many questions as possible, because I know you've got as many as I do. Our first guest is going to be Joel Singer, who is the CEO of CAR, and he's going to have lots of information to be able to share with you. We'll also have Art Carter, who's the CEO at CRMLS, going to talk about rules and policy changes that they're making to try and accommodate the situation and help us continue to market our properties. And we'll have Ernie Dronenberg, who is the San Diego County Treasurer. We're also going to line up a guest from the SBA. And you think that might sound a little odd, but apparently with what I've read, the SBA is going to be primarily the organization responsible for helping us financially, agents and brokers, with the stimulus package. So we're going to try and get something out there, and we may have more between now and then, so stay tuned. Also want to talk about a meeting I attended yesterday. It was the association president's meeting, so it was all the leadership at CAR and all of the association presidents throughout the state. Had about a 2-hour meeting yesterday, and several things came out of that I wanted to share with you. Some that I was blown away and was amazed at some of the information. So first is that this situation has impacted us so much here locally. It's hard to imagine it not impacting everybody in the country, but of the 50 states, 22 states do not have a shelter-in-place directive. So 22 of the states, almost half of them, they're going about their business as normal and shopping and doing real estate and whatever, and they're not impacted like we are. Didn't realize that. So of the 28 states left, 13 of those have a shelter-in-place directive. However, they have been granted essential service status, which means that they can still continue to do real estate in some fashion. That leaves only 15 states of the 50 that have a shelter-in-place and are not considered essential services like we are in California. The next topic that comes from that is, I know that there's been a lot of discussion, and I've heard a lot of it, frankly, about what CAR are doing to try and get us declared an essential service so we can get back to work. And I can tell you emphatically that CAR is working very hard to try and make that happen. However, I didn't realize this. You have to understand that we have close to 200,000 members in California Association of Realtors, and there are a lot of those people who may not agree with that. CAR has gotten almost as many letters from our members asking why are we even considering or asking for essential service status, because they don't believe we are. They think that by doing so, we're putting our financial interest above the public safety. Hard to imagine that, but that's the case. You think about the 200,000 members, we are a very diverse group, not just geographically, but demographically and economically. So there's lots of different opinions out there. It doesn't help our situation at the state level because we're not really speaking with one voice, and that doesn't help. But just was eye-opening to see that there is that opinion out there from several members. The next point I wanted to share with you was there was a lot of discussion about agents who were ignoring this shelter-in-place directive and out there holding open houses and doing business as normal, and what can be done about that. And obviously there was a lot of input back and forth. And while we were on that topic, that discussion, the head of professional standards for CAR weighed in the chat and said that in his opinion, again, this is his opinion, he's the head of professional standards at CAR, that continuing to hold open houses and show property is a violation of the Code of Ethics, specifically Code 11.4. That's not something I'm going to weigh in on, but just to be aware of that if you're you're out there doing that kind of business right now, you may be in violation of the Code of Ethics. The last topic, and something that I hadn't heard, is that several brokers on the call had gotten letters from their E&O carrier stating that any activity during this shelter-in-place directive that resulted in a lawsuit would not be covered under their E&O policy. I have not received that as a broker of my company yet. However, these brokers had received it and were pretty emphatic that if you're doing activity like that, you may not be covered. So if you're an agent out there doing business, you need to check with your broker. If you're the broker, I would suggest you contact your company to make sure that you have coverage. So remember, again, all this will be discussed next Friday. I'll try and keep you up to date between now and then as well if anything changes. I've actually tried to do this 3 times in the last 2 days, written a script out. Every time I do, things change. It's a very fluid situation. So that's why you just got me winging it today. I have a couple of notes, but that's about it. So I will try and keep you updated as much as possible. Make sure you are reading the emails from the association and put on your calendar for next Friday. Last thing, I just want to leave you with a personal message. I have been in this industry for 40 years now and thought I had seen everything. The recession from 90 to 95 was really tough. Obviously 9/11 was devastating to not only our country, but our industry. And then the crash from 2008 to 2012 nearly took most of us down, and didn't think we could see something like that again. And here we are. Up until then, January and February, 2 of the best months that we've had in our marketplace, our local area, in years. And things looked like they were going great. And I believe they will again. This is temporary. We've survived everything that's come before us in the past. We're a resilient group. And I believe that we will come back even stronger because what we do has purpose, it has meaning, and it has value. And so I encourage you, while this time is slow and we're going through this, stay positive, work on your craft, become better. And so that when this thing turns around, when this is over, we will have a business to come back to, and we have buyers and sellers who will want to transact. And it's up to us to be ready to help them at that time. So I hope you stay strong, stay safe, and I will talk to you later. Thank you.